In your opinion, what's the best source of vitamin D? The real answer may surprise you, so stay tuned as we look at all things vitamin D. Vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin, and it's often termed the sunshine vitamin because a form of cholesterol that's already naturally occurring within your body can actually create vitamin D when your skin, enough of your skin, not just your arm, but like a lot of your body, is exposed to sunlight for a period of 15 minutes. Therefore, we can absorb vitamin D from the sunlight, and there's also some whole food sources which I'll go through shortly. It's also important to note that vitamin D is a hormone that the body produces and utilizes. Vitamin D plays a major role in helping the body absorb and utilize calcium and phosphorus. These two nutrients are really essential when it comes to building bone and teeth. Vitamin D also plays a role with the immune system, so it helps to give it a boost. It can reduce the number of cancer cells in the body and also the rate at which they grow. It can also help to control infections and reduce inflammation within the body. It is interesting to note that some of the body's organs have receptor sites for vitamin D. So this suggests that there are even more important roles beyond bone and teeth health, and these roles are actually related to mental health. So those roles are related to the regulation of mood, which can affect somebody's mental health, and also can reduce the risks of depression. The recommended daily intake, daily value or recommended daily allowance is 20 micrograms for an adult. Of particular importance is people over the age of 70, and not necessarily everyone over the age of 70 is going to be susceptible to issues with their skeletal system, but it is advised that 20 micrograms is at least met or even slightly exceeded, just to provide those nutrients as an individual develops into their 70s, 80s and 90s. Sometimes there are degenerative issues and the body isn't able to remineralize the bones as effectively as it once could. We're going to now have a look at some of the highest whole food sources. So let's get into it. First up is salmon. A 6 ounce or 170 gram serve will yield 28.4 micrograms or 142% of the RDI. Cremini or chestnut mushrooms. As long as these mushrooms have been exposed to sunlight or UV light, so before they're actually sent off to the supermarket or farmer's market, they need to have had some exposure to the sunlight or UV light. So just make sure when you are purchasing these and that you can confirm or try and find out if that's been the case. 1 cup or 87 grams will yield 27.8 micrograms or 139% of the RDI. Mackerel, a fresh 100 gram serving, contains a little over 15 micrograms, which is 75% of the RDI. Herring, a fresh 100 gram serving, contains a little over 5 micrograms or 27% of the RDI. Sardines, 100 gram serve, contains a little under 5 micrograms or 25% of the RDI. Now, any other food that is touted as being high in vitamin D, it might have it on the packaging, and we're looking here at things like tofu, fortified milks, so the plant-based milks that seem to be becoming very popular. Yes, they may say high in vitamin D, but it's a synthetic version of vitamin D, so it's not going to be the same. It's not recognized by the body in the same manner. It doesn't have the other cofactors. The structure is different. So please be aware that if you're thinking, oh, this particular food here says it's high in vitamin D, I can use that. You know, it might be fortified tofu, it could be fortified oat milk or almond milk or something like that. Just please be aware that it isn't actually the real vitamin D. And most important, but it's obviously not a food as such that we consume through our mouth or anything that we drink, but the sunlight. If you are in a position in the world where you do have access to sunlight, and I know that's not the case for everybody, and in that case you may need to look at at a really good quality vitamin D supplement. But if you are, and you can get around about 15 minutes of sun exposure during the day, so between sort of 9 and 3 times a week, that would give you the adequate amount of vitamin D. Now, you may already be working outdoors and you can get that quite easily. You might decide to take your lunch break at a local park now and just get out, have a bit of sun. In relation to toxicity, the first point I'll cover there is in relation to the sun. You may be thinking, oh, if it's 15 minutes 3 times a week and I do 30 or 50 or an hour 3 times a week, I'm going to be getting too much. It's not how the body works. We're actually quite well designed, and if there is too much vitamin D, the body will just regulate that and not do the conversion with the cholesterol inside your body. So there's no need to fear in relation to that. However, if you are looking at taking or are taking a synthetic vitamin D supplement, this can interfere, high levels can interfere with the blood calcium levels. And this can lead to all kinds of issues, including nausea, apathy, vomiting, abdominal pain, dehydration, increased thirst, and fatigue. One other interesting point around toxicity is that high levels of synthetic vitamin D can actually result in a buildup of calcium crystals in the soft tissues of your body. And these can damage the heart, the lungs, and the kidney, and give you a very suboptimal quality of life. Your nervous system can also be affected, as too much vitamin D can actually impact the ability of the neurons in your brain to fire together and may cause your nervous system to become suppressed or depressed because they're not able to fire together, and so it down-regulates. So that's just something to be aware of. High doses of vitamin D synthetic supplements. In relation to deficiency, there are some symptoms to look out for, and these include tiredness, aches and pains, severe bone or muscle weakness, and if you've got any stress fractures in your legs, hips or pelvis, this can obviously cause significant issues for your mobility. So just keeping aware to have those adequate intakes of vitamin D, 20 micrograms a day. You can get it through 3 lots of 15 minutes of sunlight, or those whole food sources I mentioned before. Thank you very much for watching through to the end. I really hope you got something through it. If you've got any, I really hope you got something out of it. If you have anything that you can contribute positively to the video, please let me know in the comments down below. In the meantime, I ask that you keep well, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.